other English-speaking societies are massively prone to follow American language, iconography, and currents when it comes to culture wars, and especially on issues like race and identity. So, and I think, by the way, not having English as your first language is a remarkably good protector. Right? There is a lot less wokery in France, Spain, Germany than there is in Australia, Canada, the UK,
Right.
because of the amount of, fundamentally because of the amount of US TV dramas that have found their way into our national psychology. So I noticed it started, 25 years ago with the West Wing. British people were unconsciously using American vocabulary whenever they talked about politics, and they would use phrases like separation of powers, which is meaningless in a parliamentary democracy like ours. Or they would say things like all white juries. I mean, in Wales or somewhere, what the hell else are they going to be, right? I mean, they kind of thought that, and this has increased and increased, and it reached its demented peak during the riots in the summer of 2020 that followed the death of George Floyd, which half the British population seemed to convince themselves was somehow the fault of the British police. And for me, the culminating image was a group of white British, or largely white British BLM protesters protesting in London and shouting at the police, "Hands up, don't shoot," when of course the Metropolitan Police, as everyone knows, don't carry arms.
Yeah.
And this has been happening. If you're a white conservative, they call you a Klansman. If you're a black conservative, they call you an Uncle Tom. Apart from being unbelievably rude, what has any of this got to do with us? That wasn't our story. We didn't have the slavery and the segregation, and yet people think we did. And so is there a glimmer of hope, despite all the authoritarianism and protectionism and nativism from Trump? Well, maybe just as we imported all of these terrible ideas from US liberal arts colleges and that then spilled off campus and that then took over the English-speaking world from about 2015 onwards, maybe if there's a backlash against that in the US and that becomes fashionable, we will be part of the backlash.